The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNCNow.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Mabuhay and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms a community that sees and shares all things new. I am King Gonzalez and you guys are watching the season ender of season 5 of Realty Realities. Yeah, a good Saturday afternoon to everybody. Well, if you noticed, I danced to the tune because this is the last episode for season 5. It's actually mixed feelings. I'm kind of sad inside, but I'm kind of relaxed also knowing that this will be the last interview. And because it is the last interview for season 5, we want to end the season with a bang. And bang it will be because we're going to talk to the former spokesperson of the Department of Tourism, and he was also the former undersecretary of the same department. But before we get to that, did you see the title? It's the upswing of property development with the healthy growth of tourism. Well, alam nyo, yung property development, a big portion of that really comes from tourism. Like say, you go to Ayala, di ba? Ayala Center in Makati. It's just 50 hectares of commercial business district. It's also mixed with shopping centers. But at the perimeter of it all, you have 5, 6, or probably 7, or probably more hotels. That is because when property developers, the big developers, build a township or build a commercial district, they have to consider that people will go there for business. Therefore, people from overseas need to stay somewhere. Or if you have tourists who will also be going there for shopping, for leisure at Ayala Center, then they have to have a comfortable place to stay in. Baka naman sabihin nila, bakit meron akong leaning store sa Ayala, bumaba naman tayo ng konti dito sa Manila. When you go to the MOA complex, which I used to handle, you also have the likes of Conrad and you also have Microtel. So that is because the same purpose, kapag dinedevelop ang isang lugar, diba? Merong shopping centers yan, merong mga offices yan, but hotels need to be there. Especially so if you go to the likes of the Philippine Islands, which we have a lot of. 7,100. Or meron bang correction? 7,107 nga ba yan? So when we talk about Boracay, what what sustains the place are hotels and resorts. And this is why we are ending this season with a bang, because we know that with tourism development, there is property development. But before we bring in our special guest for this afternoon, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Vista Residences, who has been supporting us for the last 4 seasons. Maraming salamat po. If you're looking for a condominium that's right across Ateneo, that's beside LaSalle or UST, most universities, then get in touch with Vista Residences. You also have Q Bags by Kendi. All these bags are wonderful bags from the artisans of Marikina, commissioned by Miss Kendi Pangilinan, who right now has a movie showing that's called Road Trip. Mag-road trip po tayo pagkatapos nitong interview sa mga sinihan and watch Road Trip. Last but definitely not the least, Popeye's Chicken. The Louisiana chicken that's found its way to the shores of the Philippines to give us yummy chicken. Okay, let's go back on screen as we welcome. Sino ba? Without further ado, he is the Executive Director of the Philippine Hotel Owners Association and a former spokesperson and Undersecretary for Tourism Development. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Benito Bengzon Jr.
Hi, King. Happy New Year.
Hi.
Hi, and
Hi,
thanks
sir.
for having me in your program.
Well, the pleasure's ours. You know that I've been trying to get in touch with you, even when you were still connected with the department, to have you in the show. So, maraming salamat, Sir Bong, for being here.
It's my pleasure, King.
All right. Ang hindi ko nabanggit sa introduction is that Sir Bong is also one of my idols. One of my idols at the Department of Tourism and in public service. Parang hindi nagulat si Sir Bong. Yes, that's true. That's true. Sir, okay, now you're out of the government service, but in some ways it's still connected with very much connected with what you were doing at the tourism. It's Philippine Hotel Owners Association. What does this organization do?
Well, you're correct, King. No? I'm still in the same industry, and many of my friends, many of my industry partners would often tell me, lumipat ka na. You're now on our side. I'm with the Philippine Hotel Owners Association. We're actually one of the oldest tourism associations in the country. We had our beginnings in 1977, so that makes us 47 years old, one of the oldest associations in the industry. We are basically a non-stock, non-profit association that looks after the common interests of hotel owners, investors, and developers. So marami po kami mga miyembro. No? We have about 207 member hotels all over the country, owned by 60 member companies. And
Wow.
in our own little way, we make our contribution to the development of the tourism industry. So andito pa rin sa industriya, hindi pa rin nawawala.
Yes. Well, it's not own little way, but big little way. You know, I think in terms of contribution to the property sector, malaki-laki yung kino-contribute ng hotels and resorts, sir. 200 members. This is all over the Philippines. No, this is not just situated here in Metro Manila, sir.
That is correct. Our members are all over the country. And anyway, since you mentioned that we make our big little contribution, I might as well mention that we are the biggest investors in the Philippine tourism industry. We have billions and billions of pesos invested in hotels, resorts, infrastructure, real estate. So in a way that
Right.
makes us a very influential, no? Influential and leading stakeholder in the tourism industry.
Mhm. Which brings me to my next question, Sir Bong. Um, I know that pre-pandemic, the tourism industry, the hotel and resort industry, contributes to like 10 to 12% of GDP, no, pre-pandemic. Ngayon, kamusta po ang industriya?
Well, to sum it all up, we are in a better place. No? When I say we are in a better place, 2023 was a much better year compared to 22, 21, and of course 20. And almost invariably, the reference is pre-pandemic, no? As you pointed out. No? Nasaan ba tayo noong 2019? You're correct. No? In 2019, GDP contribution was about 12, 13, 13.5%.
Yeah.
And tourism was attracting millions and millions of foreign tourists to the country. If I
Yeah.
remember correctly, in 2019, nasa 8.2 million tayo. No? In the last report
Yeah.
of the DOT, just a few weeks back, they reported 5.5 million
Okay.
foreign tourists
Right.
in 2023, and they're targeting 7.7 for this year. So we're on our way. That the trajectory is upward. It's encouraging. But I always say that we have to look at things, in a certain way. Let us not just benchmark ourselves against our performance in 2019. We ought to take a look also at the performance of our neighbors. Kabisado mo yan dahil you were also with the DOT Singapore for many, many years. So for us to
Right,
be
sir.
competitive in the truest sense, we have to find out where our competitors are right now and where they are headed.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about improved when you say 2023, you're talking about improved occupancies for hotels, right?
That's correct. The growth in overall arrivals, tourist arrivals to the country in 2023 basically resulted in an increase in room occupancy of our hotels and resorts. It also resulted in the increase in the daily revenue. Again, I say that we have been encouraged by the strong performance in 2023, but we still have our work cut out for us. It's important for the Philippines, as a destination, to make sure that it gets the numbers that it was enjoying in 2019. So the key question that we have to ask ourselves, looking at the 7.7 million target of foreign visitor arrivals for this year, is where will they come from? Saan ba manggagaling yung mga numbers na yun? And it's very important for the government, the private sector, to work together so that we're able to achieve the collective targets, the shared targets. And clearly, the property sector will play a very important role because real estate is where our hotels are. And when you talk about hotels, as you mentioned earlier, we're not just talking of standalone hotels or resorts. These are integrated development. You use the word township, you use the word communities, and this is exactly the path that we are pursuing at the Philippine Hotel Owners Association.
Is there still room? It's sounding like you're saying that there still is room, literally, vacant rooms in terms of occupancies for 2023?
Certainly, I mean the area of improvement, is still a big challenge, for us in the industry. Again, the default reference is 2019. If the target this year is 7.7, the next question is when will we go back to pre-pandemic level of 8.2? Again, what is important is that government, private sector, work hand in hand to step up the marketing and promotions campaign. What we're working on now in the Philippine Hotel Owners Association is to make sure that our facilities and services are competitive. Services that you will find here are at par, or if not better than what you will find in other destinations in the region and around the globe. And for this, we have, we are putting the final touches on a very important document, which we call the Philippine Hotel Industry Strategic Action Plan. This is a joint project with the Department of Tourism. Real estate companies, stakeholders will find this very interesting, because this document will talk about the kind of tourism and hotel facilities that the country will need in the next 10 years. How many hotels do we need? How many hotel rooms do we need? In what category, what destination? And obviously, if you are a real estate developer, these are important pieces of information that can help you achieve your strategic objective. And once this is completed, obviously, this is something that we're hoping can be used as a guide not only by hotel hospitality stakeholders, but also players from real estate.
Yeah. Good that you mentioned that, Sir Bong, kasi a lot of our viewers are investors in real estate. In fact, we interviewed somebody, hindi lang interviewed one, no, but a couple of people who are hoteliers, local hoteliers. So it would be good for your team and the government to finish that action plan. Pero before that, can you give us a little bit of clue? Like, ano bang occupancy rates did we experience in 2023? Are we at 80% or?
Well, for 2023, last year, 2023, I'll give you a broad range, King. It ranges from 60 to 80. The occupancy rate of city hotels would be different from the occupancy rates of resorts. The rates will also vary from one destination to another. But overall, the good news is that occupancy rates are up. The daily revenues are also up. But then I will also have to, be cautious with my statement, because it's important for us to use 2019 as the minimum level. It's actually pointless to compare our performance in 2023 with 22, 21, or 20. At the very least, 2019. The more important way of looking at it is, where are our neighbors now? And many of them are running just as fast as we are. And this is where the innovation, creativity comes in. For you to stay competitive in the game, you have to know what the markets are looking for. And on our part, the Philippine Hotel Owners Association, we continue to upgrade our facilities and services. We continue to study the changing preferences, motivations, behavior of consumers, and we make the adjustments.
Which is the main role of FOA, right? It's standards. It's to uplift the standards and also to study consumer preferences, right?
Absolutely.
So, Sir Bong, so now that you mentioned consumer preferences, behaviors at that, ano bang is there a particular trend that you guys are seeing?
Well, we're seeing a trend towards greater appreciation of sustainable practices, green technology. So you're seeing larger numbers of tourists who will patronize hotels, resorts, other accommodation facilities that have sustainable practices, that align their development with sustainable development goals. So that's one clear trend that we're seeing. Another trend that we're seeing is greater preference for outdoor activities, low density, high value, unique kind of activities. We're seeing a shift from the mass market kind of tourist activities of yesteryears to something that is more personalized. And when you talk about the more personalized experience, then it's incumbent upon the hotels and other accommodation establishments to make sure that they know what the preferences of the guests are, especially if they are repeat travelers. So people will look for a more personalized experience, something that they can, talk about or brag about to their friends, to their families. For the younger ones, actually, I should not say for the young ones, but across different age brackets, we hear Instagrammable, that word Instagrammable. So facilities, hotel facilities should have that iconic, that iconic spot, iconic shot, iconic area that will distinguish them from other properties.
Right, right.
Another trend we're seeing is greater use of technology. People talk about AI. Now we have more self-check-in kiosks in hotels. We have robots, for example, that clean or disinfect public areas. We have systems that allow the guests to go straight to the rooms, bypassing the front desk using technology. So you're going to see more of these technological intervention in the years to come, without necessarily diminishing the importance of the personal touch. In fact, it will have the reverse effect, because as people become more discerning, they will also be looking for that personal touch from the hotel personnel. And again, this is something that continue to work on.
Yeah, because that's something which is a plus for Filipinos, right? Being in touch, being personal with their guests. Unlike when you go to, well, not to bring them down, but say Japan or other countries wherein practically the receptionists are just giving you the keys and just checking you in, and that's it. But if you go to the Philippines, hello there to the viewers who are in foreign lands, you're treated well. You're treated like family. Right, Sir
That's
Bong?
correct. That's correct. That's correct. I
Right.
mean, nowadays you hear words like soft skills or EQ more often than before. And again, as travelers become more discerning, as they become more experienced, they will be looking for that personal touch, which I strongly believe the Filipinos have an edge.
Oh, when you say sustainable, not they look at sustainable things. Are you saying that people like travelers now would check on their websites if this hotel discourages or encourages their guests to reuse their towels if it's just 1 or 2 days, or one other sustainability I guess process is that they put a pitcher instead of having bottled water inside the rooms. Are you saying that these guests are now discerning that they check on websites for things like this?
That's correct. No? All things being equal in terms of the price or the cost of the rooms and the amenities, when consumers see that a particular hotel is into green technology, sustainable practices, then they will patronize it. It's their way of contributing to the overall effort. So whether it's putting out that picture instead of the water bottles, or instead of using soap, shampoo, conditioner on a container as opposed to sachets. These are the things that affect the decision making of the consumers.
Nice, nice. O sige, we spoke about prevailing trends. But are there prevailing challenges for hotels now, aside from the fact that we're still chasing after the desired tourism arrivals for the Philippines? So would you say that Airbnb and some of these would be competitors of hotels?
We don't, at least for our members, we don't see Airbnb as a threat or as a direct challenge. The product offer are worlds apart. If you look at the amenities, services, facilities that our hotels offer, they're very much different from what you would find in most Airbnb facilities, which are quite Spartan. The pricing is also quite different. So if you're looking for um, I would say, a reliable, a safe, clean, value for money destination, that it's still the accredited and rated hotels that you should be patronizing, staying at. And this is where we work very closely with the Department of Tourism. Of course, we share their goal of having as many accommodation establishments have themselves accredited, because this is your assurance of quality. In fact, I can also mention that we have a project which we call the National Accommodation Standards that seeks to make the Philippines more globally competitive by coming up with a new or refreshed set of guidelines which will make sure that facilities, amenities, services across the different touch points, arrival, departure, public areas, bathroom, front desk, are better than what they will find among our competitors.
Yep. Kumbaga, I take back kasi sabi nga natin kanina, there's the main difference is that there's personal touch. And probably that's one of the main differences between Airbnbs and hotels, no? Because when you go to a hotel, you're like the kings and queens. Spoiled kayo, no? But when you're in an Airbnb, you're on your own, boy. Right. Sige, Sir Bong. We're moving towards the end of our interview, but I haven't asked you this, which is very important. What developments, or are there any areas in the Philippines which FOA is working with the government in terms of in infra or hotel developments? Meron bang focus na ganon?
Well, let me, siguro at the outset, I have to say that the Philippine Hotel Owners Association supports the efforts of the government to accelerate the development of the tourism and hospitality industry. On a macro level, what we want is to help increase the room inventory, the quality of our facilities and services, to make sure that we remain competitive. The development will be scattered all over the country, but as to be expected, many of these hotel projects will revolve around the main gateways: Manila,
Okay.
Mactan, Davao, Clark, because this is also where the demand will be coming from. On the matter of infrastructure, what is important is that we make the entire customer journey as hassle-free and as convenient as possible. And what's going to be crucial to the recovery of tourism and hospitality in the Philippines is to make sure that we make it as easy, as convenient for foreign tourists to come in. This means that we will have to restore international flights to the Philippines to the level that we had in 2019. We also have to make sure that price or the airfare remains competitive. So, very important for us to work with government partners, but we're doing that right now.
Yeah. Why? We haven't gotten back to the level of yung airline frequencies into the Philippines pre-pandemic times. No, we haven't gone back to those times.
Not quite.
Okay.
One example is that some of the charter flights that we had from some main markets from Northeast Asia are not quite back. So what's important is for us to go back to, if I can mention some numbers, we're still a long way off from getting the 1.8 million Chinese tourists that we had in 2019. So the question is, if the Chinese will not come back in the same numbers anytime soon, where will we get
Earth.
numbers to substitute? So again, this is
Right.
where the government and the private sector will have to agree on a market portfolio that will bring the numbers,
Right.
to the level that we want.
Yeah. Well, sana. Looking forward to. I guess that's what your action plan will cover. Will also identify, where to get that 1.8 million replacement, or if not, to recover it back from the China market. Sir Bong, meron bang mga hotel chains, some international hotel chains that have shown interest in entering the market?
The investments in hotels in the Philippines have been driven by the local developers. So,
Hmm.
talk about local developers, Ayala, SM, Robinson, Philinvest, etc. Many of our developers enter into franchise agreement, management contracts with international chains. But what is important is that the Filipinos themselves, the Filipino developers, investors themselves, believe that it is viable to go into hotel development, and
Mhm.
it has a domino effect. You see a tall structure, a skyscraper, a hotel in one destination, then the destination becomes a magnet for other development. F&B, restaurants, support services, transportation. So in a way, the developments becomes integrated, and we're seeing it, in many places in the Philippines outside of Metro.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good insight, that it's driven by local developers and local companies. Well, good also to mention that we just had them in our show, the farm at San Benito. Hello, guys. Uh, that bring in the developments. Tama. So, these are partnerships, no? They build the structure, they build the hotels, and then they have franchise agreements with international hotel chains.
I just
That's
mentioned
what
a
happens.
few. Correct. I just mentioned a few of the options that are available out there. But
Right,
obviously,
please.
when you talk about joint venture, there's a wide range of
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
possibilities. But I think what is important overall is that the investors, believe in the hotel industry. Our members believe in the potential of
Mhm.
the country, being a major and compelling destination. And we will do our part. The Philippine Hotel Owners Association will do its part to help accelerate the development of the tourism industry in the country by developing hotels, resorts, accommodation facilities, that we can be proud of and that can be very competitive.
Is there any service of PHOA in consult in giving advices to people who would like to put up hotels? Kasi our viewers are investors, so there might be interest na, uy, oo nga, no? I think there's still room for growth. Can
Certainly,
they approach?
yeah, they can approach us. We have a we have a full Facebook page, so they can just get in touch with us. We'd be happy to share our knowledge and expertise.
Okay, Sir Bong, any final words to our viewers?
Well, let me just thank you again for this opportunity. I think moving forward, there's a lot of potential for real estate and the hotel industry to collaborate. As I mentioned earlier, we're certainly in a better place. 2024 will be even better year compared to 2023. And what's important is for government and the private sector to continue to work together so that we can position the Philippines as a competitive destination across different businesses, across different industries.
Yan. spoken like a spokesperson of the Department of Tourism, but now for the private sector. Ayan. Thank you very much, Sir Bong, again for spending this Saturday afternoon with us. We've ang ganda ng mga insights, and I'd like to do this in a recap and then post it on our Facebook. But for now, we will be saying thank you and goodbye to you, but we will be sending care of our sponsor, Popeye's Chicken, a bucket of chicken. So you need to send me your address so that we can send it there right now after the show. So again, maraming salamat, Mr. Benito Bengzon Jr.
Thank you, King.
Thanks,
See you.
sir.
Bye-bye.
Yep, bye. So before I say goodbye to everybody, let me just thank again Mr. Bong Bengzon, Mr. Benito Bong Bengzon, for those insights, and wonderful insights at that. Yes, there is still room for growth because our tourism numbers are not still at the 2019 or pre-pandemic levels. If I remember it correctly, he was talking about that's even 8.2 million, and we are at 5.5. Notwithstanding that the levels of our tourism arrivals are still not at the same level as that, it is improving. But the government and the private sector need to work together to bring in more tourists, because we are far out from our neighboring countries in terms of tourism arrivals. Okay? The opportunity is out there. Now, if you're looking for a business, then tourism development or a hotel or a resort development is something that you should look at too. Because like what we said, there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of tourists that we expect to come in who will be looking for hotel rooms. Okay? So that's the Saturday, and that's the whole season 5 that we have. We would like to thank you guys for watching us wherever you guys are watching us from. And syempre, papasalamatan muli natin ang ating mga sponsors. Thank you, Vista Residences. Sana maulit. Thank you also to Q Bags by Candy. Guys, you should watch Road Trip. Yan, kasama yan sa mga tourism na pinag-uusapan natin. If you're looking for friendships to be developed, watch Road Trip. And then after watching Road Trip, go out of town, do your own road trip. And Popeye's Chicken. Maraming salamat for trying out Realty Realities and being a part of our show and feeding people so that we can give them happy and a fun Saturday afternoon. So, I have no more words to say, but mabuhay po kayo. God bless us all, and bye.
Ang ubo, mabilis lumala, kaya dapat agapan. Dapat Newsol News Advanced Syrup. May 2 times zinc para ang ubo, imbis na lumala, tulungang mabilis mawala. Newsol News Advanced Syrup.
Unilab yan. Ang 40D, tumutulong patibayin ng vital organs, iwas sakit sa puso at iba pang sakit.